Hey everybody, and welcome back to some more Inazuma 11 Go. I know it's been a long time. Wait a minute. This isn't exactly right, I believe. I didn't accidentally delete something, did I? Ah, crap. Well, that's unfortunate. Um, oh boy. Yeah, looks like that's the case. Oh no, it's not. Okay. I thought okay when I was I was before I recorded I was looking at the last video to kind of refresh myself on what was going on. I looked at episode 14 by accident, not episode 15. And so I thought I somehow deleted a recording of a previous episode, which I haven't, so that's good. But yeah, so why this is taking so long to record, I feel like giving excuse like every time I upload a video because this has been a bit weird. The only real reason I can give for that is that school was busy. A lot busier than I thought it would be, and so I had a lot less time to record than I would have liked. So yeah, that's just how it was. But I'm gonna try to at least keep to a once a week schedule. I forgot Frost has an accent. But yeah, I think that's the most I could try to do. If I do more than that, I think it's gonna feel like, because I think what I was doing before, I was trying to force myself to upload 3 times a week. I think just perhaps going for once a week would probably be okay for me. Super powerful defensive tactic. And another reason why this is probably taking me so long is, as I've mentioned this before, I don't really like this game that much compared to the others. So, yeah. Although I think it's more of a case that the other games are so much better than this one, it's hard to actually play this one when you play the other ones. Like, if this was your first Inazuma game, I think it'd be like pretty okay. Pretty good, but once you played like 2 or 3, it's really hard to go back to play this one. And I'd say the only real motivation to play this one is because it's in English. I think back when I played through these originally, I have the Japanese versions of these games because these games didn't come out in the U.S. At all, and they only came out, the first and second only came out in English in Europe, and they're really hard to import. At the time, I don't think my 3DS had custom firmware on it just yet. No, it did. Yeah, that's right. That's how I play the Japanese ones, because I used the weird like exploit to play out of region DS games. But yeah, going on here? He's coming back. Who's coming back? Oh, him. Yeah, he's the only one who actually kept his Japanese name because I think they let him still be Japanese. Wait. No. Not all the cups in the cupboard. Oh. What? Okay. What was I on about again? I was on about something before they talked about Nishiki, who is a character that remains relevant in Go 2, not so much in Go 3. So I care about him a little bit. Oh yeah, so I think my current plan for this game is to just mainly just focus on the main story from now on and kind of cut back on the grinding. Oh, you have new special moves. Do you have anything interesting? Killer whale, warhead. No. But yeah. Because what that will mean is whenever I do play this game, I'm just going to be recording it and not playing it in my free time. It's going to be difficult for me near the end, but whatever. But I should check how many chapters are in this game. I think there's, because I know there's one other team we haven't fought, and I think we have like 2-3 more teams to fight, maybe 4. Yeah, 3 times in a row. I hope my okay. Oh, okay, just with the 3 different. That's not too difficult. But in terms of some like, actually I should let Tenma keep this ball if our goal is not to lose it, because then he can just use his special moves. There we go. But yeah, in terms of other projects I'm thinking about doing after this, 7th Dragon, was it code BFD, comes to mind. I attempted to record that when I was using that method to like stream the 3DS game footage like wirelessly to my computer, which had some frame rate issues, which is why I didn't keep up with that method. But since there's an actual emulator that works now, I might do that. I just have to think about it a tiny little bit, because it is an RPG that was quite lengthy. I did enjoy my time with that RPG though. So like I recommend that if you want an RPG with a decent story, because 7th Dragon code BFD. I liked it anyway. Isn't it like the first 7th Dragon game actually came out in the US? Because I think all the other ones never came out. Because I know the Nintendo DS one has a fan translation, which is the first one. Because what is it? I think they hit it as another like translation because the original translation project got like shut down, and then they like released it as saying it was a translation project for something else. But turns out they were secretly working on the 7th Dragon translation the entire time, and they just released that patch out. And then there's the PSP one, which is the one before the one on the 3DS, and its gameplay is very basically the same thing as the one on the 3DS, the PSP ones, which I may just play that one first before I play the 3DS one, just so that's a thing. And I may record that off my PSP using the PSP AV cables I have, because I bought those. I never really got a chance to use those, and I bought those because for some reason the remote joy light does not like to work anymore. And so yeah, it sucks. Booyah. I don't really feel so bad not caring for the story because, well, I like I said, I don't really care for it, to be honest. I think part of the reason of that is also knowing, you know, the future games in which some of these characters just aren't important. They lose their importance after the first game and never come back. So it's, you know, it's very hard to actually develop a connection or care about some of these characters when, you know, like, they're not going to be relevant in the future. So, yeah. So if you care about the story, I'm sorry. I don't. I mean, the anime is not that much better. I dislike the first season of the Go anime too. Right? Yeah, I thought, yeah, I remember not liking it that much because I barely remember anything about it. So. Whoa. You know, actually, just talking about random tangents here. Because why not? Sure, let's talk about random tangents about the future of my channel on like a random playthrough. A random part of a particular playthrough. Sure. No. But in terms of Inazuma 11 games, I don't think Ares has come out yet, that video game. I've been hearing about it a lot, and I'm surprised there's not been any news for it, because this playthrough's been going on for like half a year, and I don't think that game even has a release date yet. I know they had plans for it to become sort of an international thing. I think what they're having trouble is finding a good balance for it, because if I remember right, what they wanted Ares to be is they wanted to have like some competitive aspect to it, like they wanted it to actually be like a competitive kind of like esport kind of thing. If I remember right, like take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I think that's what they were going for, and I think my idea is they're having trouble balancing that aspect of it with like the fun aspect of it. like, so some of the gameplay I've seen, it seems interesting enough, but the thing is, it's taken so long to release that I think like the anime has been done with like its second season, right? Like, cause was it Orion no Tenbin or whatever the hell? Is still is like their version of the world tournament arc is still like is either nearing its end or has ended. I haven't kept up with that anime yet. I stopped at around like episode 20, 30-ish, if I remember right. I was around there. So I have no idea if that's still going on. I have to go figure that stuff out, but I mean, that series is just more Inazuma with, you know, some of the old characters returning, so, you know, that's good. I do know that there's a new Inazuma mobile game coming out, which maybe I'll do like a video on as just a sort of thing, because I'm not exactly an Inazuma YouTuber, I guess, because I know there were a few of those guys back when when the only version of these games that were playable were the JP version. And those were a bit more recent. They were a thing. Okay.
影山礼二って名前だけは聞いたことがある。かつての帝国学園総帥でサッカー部の監督でもあった人だ。
He's an evil bastard, I guess.
全国優勝に導いた。
I don't know, he's really weird.
でもその裏ではいろんな悪事を働いている。
Because what is it? He was an Aries, right? And I don't think he did anything bad there either. Like, he appeared there, but he was just like a coach. If I, right? He didn't do anything bad in that series, right? Besides being overly ominous. Maybe he did something, but if he did, it was so minor in that series. おい、待て。サッカー部入部希望なんだろ? Yeah, join the club. 影山光。お前はサッカー好きか? Yeah, cause Ray Dark, right, is what they called him in the English version, or Kageyama. I mean, he was the villain basically for the first, a somewhat an antagonist for the first 3 games. He's not an antagonist in the Go series. And in Aries, he's not an antagonist either. Although, like, in the context of this game, because I'm thinking of the future, I can see why they're kind of think he's super evil because of what he's done. But I'm just thinking in the future where he's just like not that. And I don't know, maybe he has some sort of weird plan that in the new series that he hasn't shown yet, but you know what, I forgot he had an arc in the 3rd game where he kind of not really becomes good, but becomes less bad, right? Right, doesn't he have like some sort of weird like not like a minor thing where what's his face? The guy with the goggles there sort of talked to him and he's like, Yeah, I kind of understand what you're talking about now. Was that a thing? I vaguely remember that being a thing. But I now just realize it's been many years since I've played those games, or gone through their story, that my memory of them is a bit, eh. So eventually I may do a replay through of those, because I'm thinking of doing a playthrough of some of my older projects that I finished, because there was a lot of playthroughs I've started that I just never finished. And I've been thinking about going back and doing some cleanup and just kind of renaming those like Let's Try or something like that, so it's more obvious that those aren't finished playthroughs. But yeah. So yeah, I've been thinking of redoing Inazuma 11, the original one, and do the 3DS version of that, since that one is in English and was released in the US. There's no 3DS version of Go 2, or an English one anyway. And I think I'm satisfied with my original playthrough of that game. It could have been better, of course, but I don't really feel like I need to do Go 2 again. I could do Go 3 again because there is a proper English version of that one now. Because when I played that one, the only way I could record it was through Nintendo DS emulation, and now I can record the English one with the with 3DS emulation now. So those have been replay throughs that I've been thinking of doing. I don't know if I'll do them anytime soon, but those are on the table. Mega Man Star Force. That was the first playthrough I ever did and finished, but it was not a commentated playthrough, so I've been thinking about redoing that. And Star Force 2, that went through like all three of my phases where I had no mic, a shitty mic, and a better mic, and I think the end of it was with my current mic I have now. No, it wasn't. It was my old mic. Which was a Blue Yeti that I didn't know how to use. I figured it out, but I'm still not using that because it's a little bit cumbersome to use. But I may actually go back to using my Blue Yeti at some point for better sound quality now that I've figured out what was causing so many issues with it. In case you're wondering, the gain on that was like way so high, so like it could pick up like weird buzzing sounds. But yeah. But yeah. Who's that? Oh, that's some dude. But yeah, Star Force, I've been thinking of doing a replay through. Star Force 2 is never gonna happen because the reason why that took me forever to finish, if you look at the first episode upload and the last upload, there's like a 2-year difference. Not as good as the other Star Force games. One of the worser ones. So probably never gonna do a replay through of that, even though my playthrough of that currently up on my channel is pretty bad. I'm not pretty bad in terms of just the quality of it, I think. But you'd have to pay me a lot of money to redo that. Njord. Sneo Njord? That's his name? I don't know, maybe it's a name I don't know, maybe it's a real name. Njord Sneo? Wait! No, I was like, is this supposed to be like a weird, like, Njord Sneo? Njord. Njord? I don't know how to pronounce that. You were my prodigy. Out of my way. There's okay. Yeah, and Sneo becomes irrelevant after this game. Completely irrelevant. Which I think is kind of a good thing. They were at a risk of sort of... It's a good and sort of bad thing. Because, as I said before, a lot of characters in this game become irrelevant after this one. And that's mainly because they were at a risk of like, basically just sort of repeating what happened in the first 3 games with just different characters. Like, the same characters but with just different looks, I guess is the best way I could put that, is what they were at risk of doing. And so I can see, I understand why they went with the second and third games, why they went completely different routes with them, you know, came up with new characters for each of those games. So it wasn't, you know, a different coat of paint on like the same thing, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's the right analogy. And that worked when you're looking at those games at an individual level, but when you're looking through the games as a whole, it kind of makes the first one kind of just a story that sets up it just kind of exists to set up the other 2 games. Like, I don't know if I would really recommend you to play this one unless you really feel like playing an Inazuma 11 game. I just go straight to Go 2, or yeah, and then I would just recommend start playing Go 2. If you really want to know the story, I mean, you could just watch the anime, I guess. I mean, or you could watch this playthrough. Okay, here we go. Am I actually healed up from when I battled those guys? Yeah. Okay. I think this is actually a good time to sort of end things off. I know it's just been me, like, completely ranting on just random topics this entire time, but that's probably going to be the way it is for the rest of this entire game, and I think it's been this way for pretty much the entirety of this playthrough, regardless. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's gonna be this episode. Hopefully the next one isn't like another 5 months away. As I said, I'm gonna try to keep to that once a week sort of thing at least, because I think I could at least do that much. Anyway, I'm gonna end things off for now, and I hope to see you guys next time, whenever that is. Bye.